more chaotic the world gets, the quieter our wardrobes become. Every few years, fashion strips itself down, back to clean lines, muted tones, and effortless silhouettes. And every time we call it something new. Quiet luxury, the clean girl aesthetic, or timeless minimalism. But really, what it all comes back to is 90s minimalism, the mother of all modern minimalism. A style that refuses to die because it says so much by saying so little. Hi, my name is Sophia, I'm a fashion and culture enthusiast and I'm so happy to have you here. Today I want to talk about the 90s minimalism aesthetic, where it comes from and how you can achieve it too. If you think about it, every return of minimalism follows a period of chaos. In the 90s, it came after the economic boom of the 80s. In the 2010s, after the recession and the peak of fast fashion. And now, after years of maximalism, content overload, and internet noise, it feels like the only thing left to do is to simplify. Minimalism, in a way, is our cultural reset button, a quiet protest against overstimulation. It tells us you don't need to keep up, you already have enough. The whole aesthetic of the 90s minimalism is an aesthetic that I personally look to when it comes to my own outfits and how I dress myself. It's what keeps showing up on my Pinterest, and I really love it visually, and I also love the icons of the 90s, which is one reason why I wanted to make this video. But then another fact struck me. If we look at the list index, which tracks the world's hottest fashion brands based on searches, engagement, and sales, there's a very clear direction this season. Saint Laurent just reached the #1 spot for the first time ever, followed closely by Miu Miu, who was the #1 for the previous quarters, and surprisingly COS, which jumped into the top 3 with a 147% increase in searches and engagement. I mean, I just said surprisingly, but honestly, maybe it's not that surprising at all, considering that they had this huge fashion show and a runway collection that hit the stores afterwards. And I saw so many people wearing this tartan checkered print skirt matching with a turtleneck. I also tried it on and I really liked it, but unfortunately my bust area was too big, so the shirt kind of looked off. And I couldn't find the skirt anywhere, but I thought it was really cool. So it does make sense that COS is up there. But what is also interesting is that it's a bit of a higher priced brand, but it does still count as fast fashion. So having that brand up there is very interesting, I think. And then if you look at the top trending products, there is something else that is very interesting. They're not loud, they're not overly designed. Think quiet staples, the kind of pieces that feel timeless, wearable, and grounded. Even something as simple as the Havaiana flip-flops made it to the very top of the list, which does make sense since the last 2 summers were the height of just wearing a plain black flip-flop. So what does that tell us? It means fashion is collectively craving ease, clarity, and longevity again. It's less about showing off than about showing taste. And that's exactly where the 90s minimalism revival fits in. It's a response to visual and social overload. And after years of dopamine dressing and hyper-trend cycles, people are longing for this kind of simplicity that feels sophisticated rather than sterile. At first, when I started thinking about this video, I thought that the clean girl aesthetic is also part of this minimalism trend. And even though it is a quite basic, and I don't mean this in a negative way at all, it is a quite basic way of dressing. I don't think that really fits the definition of minimalism, because I think the clean girl trend is very, very much linked to consumerism. Because when you look at all the starter packs or just the outfit inspirations on Pinterest, the TikToks, it's always linked to buying the AirPods, the Uggs, polyester clothing, whereas 90s minimalism is, in my opinion, quite the opposite. So yeah, that was just a thought I had and I wanted to share. Actually, now let me describe you the 90s minimalism style. It's an aesthetic built on curation over overconsumption. Every piece feels intentional and nothing is added without a purpose. The focus lies on quality and longevity. Good materials, clean lines, and timeless shapes. Think silk, leather, wool, and cotton. Never polyester. The palette is often muted. Blacks, whites, taupes, creams, and grey. Very understated, but never boring. Makeup is almost invisible. Sometimes here and there's a red lip or a smoky eye to just add a little bit of interest, but never too much. Jewelry is very minimal or not there at all. The silhouettes are simple yet refined. Boat necks, like this one, turtlenecks, slip dresses, and sleek tailoring. Structured but never stiff. Clothes that enhance the body shape rather than hiding them. And then of course the details. Kitten heels, pointed toes, clean cuts. Everything feels effortless yet meticulously considered. Now, how can you achieve this look? The very first place I would look, to be honest, is Vinted, because even all the brands I'm going to talk about in the next few minutes are all on Vinted, and you can find their pieces on there for so much cheaper. Definitely a great place to look. Now, what brands to look for? One that I already mentioned is COS. I think COS always have some very timeless pieces, or rather investment pieces that you can keep for a long time. For example, their knitwear, their cashmere line is very nice, and you can definitely pick something from there. Another brand that I want to talk about is Jil Sander, who's arguably one of the most influential designers of the 90s minimalism aesthetic, because she was the designer at that time. And to this day, the house creates very minimalistic yet modern pieces that stand the test of time. And you can definitely find so many Jil Sander pieces on Vinted as well. This summer I had a special occasion and I bought these creamy flats, and I think I got them for 40 euros. I was so proud of the purchase and I absolutely love the shoes. So definitely look at Vinted for them. Another brand that was present during the 90s is Calvin Klein. And I know that many people, when they think of Calvin Klein, maybe think of the underwear, which makes sense. But actually, Calvin Klein has some very beautiful clothing. Also, very beautiful suits. So definitely look into those. Also on Vinted. Kate is another place to look. They are especially known for their luxury knits and leather pieces, which fits perfect into the aesthetic and the wardrobe of the 90s. And last but not least, Victoria Beckham, my icon. I love Victoria Beckham. I think Victoria Beckham very much perfected the modern and sophisticated version of minimalism. Whereas in comparison, I think the Row, which is of course also on the list, but it's, I think for many, so out of reach because they're so exclusive and so expensive. Very interesting though. If you are interested, I would like to make a video about the Row as well, because I am very much fascinated by them. But let's go back to Victoria Beckham, or the comparison. I think the Row in comparison is more cool and also modern, but it's more, yeah. And Victoria Beckham has a little bit of a feminine touch to it, which is something that I look for because I just really like to bring in some feminine as well as some masculine pieces, whatever that means, into my outfit to create, you know, that kind of dimension. Now, I hope you could take something away from this video. I'm so happy that you came back to this channel, click the video. Now, please don't forget to click that like and subscribe button down below and tell me how you would like to integrate the 90s minimalism aesthetic into your wardrobe. Thank you so much. Bye!